But for the 287 men and women receiving their degrees here today, the expectations are much, much higher. Because of the education you received here, you are uniquely prepared to provide the desperately needed principled leadership to your family, your church, your community, your country, and your fellow man. You have been grounded in an understanding of our Constitution and the government and that our founders delivered to us. You understand that precious legacy and the need to preserve it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a conservative like Ted Cruz giving a commencement address. We have the author of a book which documents so many great conservatives giving so many great commencement addresses. Zev Chafets is here, founding managing editor of the Jerusalem Report and author of Remembering Who We Are. And there it is up on your screen, a treasury of conservative commencement addresses. Hello, Zev.
Hi, Steve.
Great to talk to you. Okay. Why do so few conservatives, notwithstanding the many on the list of commencement addresses that are in your book, why are they so far and few between, or few and far between?
I can give you a very simple answer. It's because they're conservative. I did arithmetic for this year. So far, of the 60 top universities, is according to U.S. News and World Report, 24 have announced who their speakers will be for this spring. 23 of them are Democrats and or well-identified progressive intellectuals, and there's one conservative.
Who's that?
Condi Rice.
Okay.
There's a second Republican, that's Colin Powell, but since he supported Obama twice, I don't know if he counts.
No, I don't think he counts at all. Why did you think it was so important to put this book together? And I mean, the people that speech by Ted Cruz is in the book. You got Roger Ailes, you got Ben Carson, Chris Christie, a conservative, and I'll go debate you with that. George Will, Clarence Thomas, Britt Hume, right on down the list. Rush Limbaugh.
And a lot of the people in here are not. These are not actual conservative commencement speeches.
Right.
They're articles about commencement because not all of them have been invited. Rush, for example, has never been invited to give a commencement speech. Neither has Roger Ailes. Both of whom I wrote biographies of. The reason I did it was because, well, two reasons. First of all, in the last few years, those few conservatives who have been invited to give speeches have often been disinvited after protests, usually by Muslim students who don't like America much, or in the case of Condi Rice,
Rutgers, wasn't that
Rutgers.
Yeah.
Brandeis, who disinvited Hirsi Ali, who was one of really the great human rights people of our time, because she was critical of conservative Islam. And here I say conservative with an Islamic C.
Yes.
And Ben Carson, who was disinvited at Johns Hopkins.
Where he was the chief of pediatric neurosurgery.
Pediatric neurosurgery, and also a Detroit guy, so I have to pay attention to him in particular. So that was one thing. I thought that was outrageous, and I wanted to write something about that. And then I started hearing from all sorts of people whose own kids, or in some cases the kids themselves, had gone to schools, universities, where they had almost never encountered conservative ideas. And sometimes they would say, well, we didn't have conservative speakers because they said that there aren't any, or there aren't any who are respectable or good enough. And so I decided to take a look, and I saw that there are conservative commencement speeches, usually at either evangelical colleges, some Catholic university, Hillsdale, certainly where Ted Cruz just gave his talk, and that talk is included in the book, and occasionally in what's known as second-tier universities, usually in red states, and they're second tier because they're in red states.
Do you see it changing anytime soon?
Yeah, it was a great change. They decided after those embarrassments of last year to do something very easy. They simply don't invite any conservatives at all, and then there's no chance to chance to protest. Yeah.
Well, that's not good, folks. It's a great read. It's very important. It's commencement address time. And if you have youngsters or you don't have youngsters, either way, it's a very important book, remembering who we are. And as Zev alluded to, whether they made a speech or they're just writing about commencement addresses in general, these names are people you want to hear from. Zev, good luck with the book, sir.
Thank you very much,
All right,
Steve.
we're coming back, folks, with more of the show. Don't go away.